mother. The Bible doesn't choose that women have to have kids. That is not all we are made for. Many fundamentalists believe that we should be denied the basic rights to choose the freedom of our own reproductive systems and be limited to only childbearing and housework. I completely disagree with their views, and we deserve more than that, especially the right to our own body and help ensure that every child is a wanted child. Women should know how to protect themselves from having kids and be able to have the resources available to help them prevent pregnancy.
Was it worth breaking a law and going to jail for?
Yes, because after enduring all the strikes and protests for women's rights, it worked. At first, I could only start a newspaper column to inform women about protection called What Every Girl Should Know, but I am pushing for it to become legal for doctors to allow birth control materials to be imported. Not only that, I also established the American Birth Control League and opened the first birth control clinic in the U.S., named Birth Control Clinic Research Bureau. So now my birth control clinic provides women the resources they need to be able to freely decide whether they will or will not become a mother.
That is very interesting. It sounds like you have put a lot of work into it.
Yes, and I am hoping that my research on oral contraceptives would be able to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration so I can give them out to women in my clinic. This is a huge deal for me personally because I used to treat a number of women who underwent back alley abortions or tried to self-terminate their pregnancies, and I want to be able to provide contraceptives to them so these horrors would be happening less. I'm glad that I could help in the fight against maintaining the freedom of a woman's body, and I will be striving to protect women's rights and the liberation of women from unwanted pregnancies until the day that I die.
Thanks for sharing your story. Next, I would like to call to your attention the story of Alvin Childress Andrews. I'm sure many of you know him from this famous Amos and Andy show. This was a show that we all know and love, and after 2 quick years, it was taken off the network. Mr. Andrew, please take the stand and share your story.
I started out working with the Federal Theater Project and American Negro Theater. I later went on to be an actor in the Amos and Andy show starting in 1951, which most of you probably know me from, as Judge Darrow mentioned. This show started out on the radio and later made it to the big screen, and that is when the problems began. This program was based upon the Kingfish plan to become rich through deceiving his brothers in the Mystic Knights of the Sea Lodge. The show was a huge success as it was the first TV series with an all-black cast. There was much controversy over negative stereotypes of the African American culture. The NAACP began to protest against the show, saying that every character is either a clown or a crook, that Negro doctors are shown as quacks, and Negro lawyers are shown as crooks. The NAACP took the show to federal court, where we lost the case, and the Amos and Andy show was no longer. Although some disagree with the show, many believe that the show was harmless and was not much different from other ethnically oriented shows.
This seems like another case that was thought to be racism, and we'll see another example of this in my next case when I call Paul Robeson.
When I was 17 years old, I earned a scholarship to Rutgers University, and